Hi guys. Um Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching from. Uh I still remain your girl. Okay? So today's video I want to talk about the culture shock I had when I got into this country. Yeah, the culture shock I had. As in, it was a whole new experience for me, and it wasn't easy for me transitioning into um, um, the whole system. It wasn't an easy one for me. But hey, look here we are today. the f- I have actually lined up about 10 or less than culture shock I have so far. I have had so far. Trust me, there are more, but these are the major ones that I know that I have experienced and I'm still experiencing. Anyways, okay, the first on my list is the weather and the climate. Hmm. When I moved into this country, Canada and Uni, it wasn't a funny one at all. It wasn't easy for me because I moved in here January. I came here through study. So I moved in here January, and then if you're conversant with the weather of Canada, you will know that January is the peak of winter season. Yeah, it's actually the the climax of the season, and then it wasn't funny for me coming from a region that is hot, like really hot, even when it is cold during the festive season, that's December period. You you still have a way to manage it coming like way from home. You will still have a way to manage the situation because though it might get cold in the morning, but by time towards afternoon you see that the weather begins to get warm, and you can one can loosen up a bit. But the case is different here. Trust me, the case is totally different here because when I moved in here, winter hit me with a rude shock. It as in the weather came with a rude shock for me. It was pretty cold as -30. And you know when weather gets as cold as -30, that means it's cooler than your deep freezer. Yeah, it's cooler than your deep freezer. I imagine you cooking and then you're not scared that your food might get sour. That's how bad it was. Yeah, I like I can stay 2 days without even warming my soup, but still I don't have fear that this food will get sour even without putting it in the freezer. That's how cold it was. I remember there was a point I called my mom that I started crying over the phone. Why? Because the weather was so cold. We had winter storm, just the way we used to have rainstorm. Those are back home in Nigeria. You can understand what I'm saying. Those the way we used to have rainstorm to the point that even where I live in Tradement Estate in Abuja, it gets flooded. That it floods people's houses and all that. That's how winter storm can go. It can go as high as covering, you know, when those underground houses, it covers their window. Like on a normal good day, I'm not tall now, I'm a short person. So imagine a walking in the snow that can get as high as your waist region or your thigh region. If you know me, you know I'm not tall, so I'm not exaggerating here. Snow that can go as high as your waist region. That's how bad it can get. Yeah. If you notice in this video, I'm even wearing a cardigan. Come on, this is supposed to be summer season, my people. This is supposed to be a summer season. This is supposed to be the summer season, the last few days of summer. But I started putting on cardigan because we are approaching fall, and falls also gets cold. So like the weather here is not funny when it comes to the temperature. Another thing about the weather again, during the summer, 10 o'clock, the weather is as the sky the weather is as bright as 5 p.m., 6 p.m. back home. At 10 p.m., the weather is so clear. Like, I don't get, everywhere is as bright as 5 to 6 p.m. back home. Like, you can literally walk on the street and without needing a torchlight. Yeah, I remember one of my friend this in one of my friends in this page, in this my Facebook page here. I wouldn't want to call her name. I don't know if she would be okay calling her, me calling her name. She called me up, so, and we were having a conversation concerning a business transaction. So she told me something. I told her, this is just 7 p.m. That, but it's still looking like 3 to 2 p.m. back home. She was like, are you serious? I should show her out. I had to go out of my door and show her the outside and let her see how everywhere is looking like. And she was like, are you sure it's 7 p.m.? I had to show her my clock that, yeah, it's 7 p.m. So yeah, the weather can actually get really funny. Let me put it that way, funny, different from what we are used to back home. Yeah, so that's my first cultural shock I had coming to this country. The second cultural shock I had was cultural differences. Yeah, coming to a culture, coming to a country expecting to have their own laid down norms, tradition, um 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 what they call it, rules that govern them in cultural way. Yeah, let me put that way. But funny enough, Canada is a multicultural nation. When I mean multicultural nation, it's it's not like the USA or some other countries of the world are that allows you to come into their country and then, like, do away with your own mindset of where you're coming from. Like, if you have a norm that governs you from your original country, Canada has a system whereby it actually allows you to come in with your own culture and infuse what is on ground already. And basically, there's no special lay down culture that they have. So it's just like flow with the system, let me put it like that. Just obey the laws that govern the land. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So just the few culture difference I noticed is, you can see someone that is as old as your father, you have to call them by their name. You don't, just not like the way we say good evening sir, good evening Mr. Johnson. Oh, good evening Johnson. Even your boss, you call them by their name. I don't know if there's exceptional cases whereby you have to put Mr. or something, but for the few places I have worked so far, you actually address them with their first name. Yeah. And another one is someone that is 50, 60 something years, still see themselves as young. They don't see themselves as old. Yeah. Imagine someone that is 50 something and say, I'm not so old. And I'm like, if you're not so old, then I've not been born. So yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed about the culture here. And then something about politeness, like, and smiling. Yeah, let me put it, smiling this way. Even when you don't feel like smiling, you just have to smile, because someone from nowhere will just smile like hello, and then you cannot say hello. You have to smile back. Like, sometimes I'm not in the mood to smile, but I don't have a choice because of the system where I find myself. Like, even if I don't know that the smile is coming from their heart, but sure, you go smile. That's one thing I know. Like, you just have to smile when you're being smiled at, or even when you're not being smiled at. But so long as someone is coming close to you, or someone is opposite you just have to give them that smile, and then you open doors for people. Like people open doors for you, and you open doors for people. Just like for instance, you're the first to walk in, and then um you you open the door. You have to hold the door down for the next person to come in, and the next person might actually hold the door down for the next person to come. So that it has always been like that. Like here, so far I've come, like people open doors for me, and then I open doors for people. Um there's nothing strange about it over here. Not like you open door and you leave. Whenever the next person is coming in, when that like the next person that is behind you opens the door by itself. No, it's not done that way. Once you open the door, you have to hold the door down for the person to come in. So that's one beautiful cultural shock I've had so far. Then the next one on my list is um cuisine and food. Food, food, food was one big problem for me. Like food was one big problem when I got into this country. I remember back then when I came in, anything I eat that's from this country, I stew. Like I stew to the point that you could even literally see the bone on my neck. I lost weight so much that my mom was even worried about my weight. My the people I know back home, that when I call them on video call, they are like they're really concerned about my health. At some point I even felt ill because I decided not to be eating those things. I was just so careful. I was so careful about the whole thing. When I visited the hospital, they were like, you're lacking some nutrients. And I thought it's not because I don't want to eat, it's because it doesn't stay in my tummy. So the doctor was like, I just have to force myself and eat. If it doesn't stay, I'll just keep forcing myself to eat that. My system will adjust to it. And well, it has adjusted, but then the food is, well, these guys don't have food. It's food is their bacon, maybe vegetables, some kind of bread salads that I don't really understand. Then steak, which is meat, bacon, pig meat, chicken, turkey. As in, and to the point that chicken now irritates me. Like I can't stand chicken. That's how bad it is right now. Like I can't literally stand chicken. It's that bad because I've had too much of it that I can't eat anymore. So they don't. They, even if they have varieties, it's not varieties that resonate with my taste bud. Let me put it like that. But I don't think they have varieties. Trust me, their food is not fooding. uh, the next on my list is relationship. I know so many of you are really interested to know about what it's like having a relationship here. Well, I would not know because hey, I'm in a relationship, so I'm not looking for any relationship anyways. I am looking for any. So, but so far so good. Uh, you can, as a man, you cannot just say you want to go and toast a lady like that. Like I think I don't know. I just feel I can't really explain this part, but I think what they do is when a man likes a woman, or maybe the other way around, there's this smile you give to that person, and if that person reciprocates the smile, it's like you're welcome or something like that. Yeah. So if you smile to me and I reciprocate the smile, then that means okay. mm, there's a way forward. But if I don't reciprocate the smile, please don't push your luck, because at some point when you try pushing your point, it gets to a point whereby it becomes harassment, and harassment is an offense here. So um if you smile to her and she smiles back, then maybe you could take the step and start a conversation. Not, please, when you're starting the conversation, not let me have your number, I beg. It's not like that. You might actually, actually ruin your chance by doing so. You could just start by saying, how did your day go? Blah blah. Maybe you guys met in the train or something. How was the day? How did it go? What, like, you start a conversation from there. Maybe you have one stop or two stops to your destination. But just, if it's okay by you, can I have your contact so we can talk more? Or would you like to go on a date with me? Or would you like to hang out with me sometime? Blah, blah, blah. You exchange contact like that. But say the babe smile and you know, can I get your number? No, don't do that. Next on my list is healthcare system. The healthcare system in this country, like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Let me give you gist. My friend, my Ghanaian friend, I think I've posted her one time in this on this platform. Yeah. So she had a crisis. She had a crisis in class. So she I think she slumped in class when she was having a presentation, final year, our final presentation. So her final presentation, because we are not in the same department, but we're in the same school. So she slumped in the class and she was rushed in the hospital. My sister was just giving drip and then giving some medication. She recovered herself. Ask me how much is her hospital bill. 1,600 Canadian dollars. I been convert it to naira. And guess what? They said if she had slept, if she was admitted, because they wanted to admit her rather, and she said no, she doesn't want to stay in the hospital, that she wants to go home. If they had admitted her, her bill would have gone higher than that amount. So the healthcare system in this country is way expensive. For this video, I'm going to do the part 2 of this video. So let's watch out for the part 2 in my next comment.